Well, hey everyone, happy Sunday. And before we dive into transit today, I wanted to take a second and address what's going on in our country and really around the world. We watched the senseless killings of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd play out. And in the past several weeks, we've seen a wave of protesters, a wave in all 50 states and really across the globe of people who are saying enough is enough. That racism, that oppression, that it's got to end, that we've got to make a change. And today, before we start, I just want to address two groups of people. First, I want to address our Black students at Transit. I want to tell you that you belong and you matter, not in spite of who you are, but because of who you are. You see, we believe that God created you just the way you are on purpose for a purpose. And we also hope that Transit is a very safe place for you to talk about anything, including your race, including what it's like to be Black in America. We hope that you can have that conversation with your small group today. To our white students, a lot of you have reached out and said that you're feeling a little bit confused or you're wondering how you can help. And we're going to be talking a lot about that in the coming weeks and months of ways that you can get involved. But we think the best thing that you can do in the meantime is to start to educate yourself about what it's like to be Black in America. You see, we have to understand that we don't understand. And we have to be willing to admit that, but that's no excuse not to try. And so we think the easiest way to do that is to pick up the phone, call or text one of your Black friends and ask them a few questions. Ask them first how they're doing emotionally, how this is affecting them right now, and then go on to ask them to try to explain to you what it's like to be Black in America. How has their race affected their experience in their life up to this point? And your job is just to listen. That's all you have to do. Just listen and try to understand. We think that understanding will lead to empathy, which will move us to action. So that's it for now. We'll be talking about these issues a lot more in the future. But for now, we hope you have a great Sunday, and let's start Transit.
Yo, what's going on, my Transit family?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey guys, I miss you all. How are y'all doing?
Good
Oh,
morning, ladies. So good to see you.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, I missed y'all so
And now, together from all our homes across the city, welcome to Transit.
What's up, Transit? We are so excited that you are doing what? What?
I made you breakfast.
You made me breakfast. Thank you. Is this a watermelon with a face on it,
It
that
is.
says Bill? Put this.
Do I get the best husband award?
You get the best husband award. That is right. So maybe you guys joined us. We just did an Instagram live,
Yeah, we did.
and we asked you guys a really important question. So we want to ask you in case you missed it, because we need you to ask your families, we need you to ask your friends.
The question is a Pop-Tart considered ravioli?
Which
Question.
obviously, no.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no. It's a Pop-Tart.
No, think about it. It can be ravioli. It's just like some stuff in a thing
And
that
that's
you cook.
no. Anyway, that's not right. But we want you to answer the question. We want you to ask your people, because this question is really important to us.
Okay, enough of that question.
Okay.
Today you guys are going to get to hear from one of my favorite people named Andy Thompson, and I can't wait for you to hear what he's going to say about serving.
That's right. And then right after, we're going to hear from another guy named Andy Bedford, for part 2 of In This Together.
There's so many
Love
Andys.
Andys.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're
They're
all-
taking over Transit this week.
Yeah.
Andy
Yeah.
Thompson, Andy Bedford.
Next they take over the whole world.
What? Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for Transit, and we will see you next week.
Hey Transit, we've got a super cool opportunity for you to grow in your faith, have fun, and make a big difference too. And that involves serving with Wamba Land, our preschool ministry, or Upstreet, our elementary ministry. And while they're not meeting in person right now, they're planning for this next school year and are looking for awesome students to step up and join their teams. Transit students, if you are interested in this, you'll need to talk to a parent and see if they would be interested in serving with you. This could be a great thing for your relationship with your parent. So, if you are interested, you can text either Wamba or Upstreet to 313131, and they will send you the next steps that you need to take in this journey. We hope that you want to take time to serve these children.
What's up, Transit, and welcome to week 2 of our series, In This Together. Man, I wish we were together. How long has it been since we've been in the attic? 2-3 months? Man, I can't wait to see your smiling faces. And if you're like me, you've probably been bored out of your mind, ready to get outside. So today's topic, I think, is going to be super relevant. We're going to be talking about this one thing that we all crave and desire, especially given our current circumstances when there's so many rules and regulations and things that we just can't do. We've all been craving for and desiring this one word that we're going to be talking about in group today. And that word is this: freedom. That's right, freedom. Man, if I could get a little bit more freedom in my life, freedom to go to whatever restaurant I wanted to, freedom to be able to go hang out with my friends, freedom to go to a Braves game, how amazing would that be? See, we all long and crave for freedom, especially in our homes, when you feel like there's so many rules. Rules about when you have to go to bed, rules about when you have to log off on your Xbox or PS4, rules about who you can and can't talk to and what apps you can download on your phone. And I feel like there's so many rules that are taking away from what we want to do from our freedom. And the temptation is this: when you don't have access to freedom, the temptation and tension that we feel inside of us is that the only way to gain access is if we fight for it. If we fight our mom or our dad or our step parents or our guardians, it feels like we have to raise and escalate our voice and get to that higher octave.
You know what I'm saying?
Or we have to slam doors or stomp out of rooms. Or maybe, like if you do like me, you do that passive aggressive, that pout when you are at the dinner table and you don't say anything to anybody, you just fold your arms and you know what I mean? Tuck that lip in. Well, maybe there's a better way. Instead of having to fight for your freedom, maybe there is a better way to gain access to it. There's a passage in the Bible that Paul, one of the authors of a lot of the New Testament, he talks specifically about freedom in our families. And the way that he describes it comes from the book of Ephesians chapter 6, and he says, "Honor your father and mother, and it will go well with you." See, when you show honor, it actually elevates trust. And if you elevate trust, it elevates freedom. And if you want more freedom in your life, I promise you, if you show honor to those that are in your house that you live with, that are in charge of you, you will actually gain access to more freedom. So how do you do that? I'll give you 3 simple ways that you can do that. You can apply right here today. The first is this: say yes ma'am and no ma'am and yes sir and no sir, and never ask the question why when you're told to do something. I know it seems super traditional and maybe even a little old-fashioned and maybe even a little southern, but you know what? If you show respect, I promise you, you'll gain respect. And when you show respect and honor by saying yes ma'am and no ma'am, yes sir and no sir, you'll actually gain freedom by doing that. You'll show that if you can be trusted with the little things, you can gain access to more of the big things and the freedoms that you crave. The second thing that you can do in order to gain a little bit more freedom and trust with your family is this: when you mess up, fess up. That's it. It's pretty simple. If you mess up, if you do something wrong, just say I'm sorry. Don't try to come up with 1,000 excuses as to why you did it. Just apologize. I know the 3 hardest things to say, probably for me, is the words, I was wrong. But you know what? When I admit that I was wrong, I can build back trust. And as trust increases, freedom increases, and you will gain access to more of it if you learn to say, I'm sorry. The last thing that you can do, and I think it's one of the most important things that you can do, before you try to fight for your freedom and yell at your parents, hit the pause button. Show respect before you get regret. If you can show respect to your parents, I promise you, you will avoid a ton of regret in your life. You'll have a great relationship with them. They'll want to give you more freedom. And the secret of parents is this. They actually want to trust you with more stuff. They want to give you more freedom. And if you can be trusted with the little stuff, you'll gain access to more of the big things. I don't know, eventually to more access on your phone or a car eventually. Those are the things that your parents want for you. But the only way that you can gain more freedom is by showing honor to those that are in charge of you. And I'm talking about your mom, your dad, your stepmom, your stepdad, a grandparent, a foster parent, whoever is in charge in your home. If you show respect, you'll actually gain respect in return. So the question I have for you as you go to group, who is that one person that you butt heads with more than anybody else in your house? All right, Transit, we'll see you next week as we continue our series In This Together. See you next week. Peace.